Hey, thanks again for pressing play and welcome once again to another edition of the Suns Jam Session Podcast on the BLEAV Podcast Network, brought to you by FanDuel, where if you had bet the Suns beating the Spurs by 12 points, it ended up being 12 points, you probably would have won a lot of money if you had guessed that exact spread. That's my guess. But on a night in downtown Phoenix where we were taking on a team that's 5-0, right? The San Antonio Spurs come into Phoenix. And I just, I didn't have the Suns going absolutely ballistic from beyond the arc on my bingo card. I didn't have them locking up Victor Wembanyama and the undefeated San Antonio Spurs either. But there it was, a cocktail of cohesion and disruption, shaken and poured all over a team that didn't see it coming. So plenty to talk about on this edition of the Suns Jam Session Podcast. We've hit 3,900 subscribers on YouTube. We did it. Thank you to everybody who's pressed subscribe. If you haven't done so, please do so. Hit that thumbs up button. And if you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, leave us 5 stars, write a review. We'll read it right here on the podcast. But plenty to talk about right after we play the intro music.
Session Podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.
Matthew, what is going on, man? What a game.
Yeah, insane, right? I think a lot of us expected this, right? The Suns dethroned the Spurs on top of the West and in the NBA. Like, who would have thought?
I got a question.
Matthew, I've got to ask.
That should be my question. Just like, who'd have thought? But this game, the way that it turned out, the way that the Phoenix Suns played, do you think that they're going to get a little bit of attention and a little bit of love from the national media at all after a performance like this?
Yeah, I think so, because I don't think it was one of those things where like the Spurs lost it. Obviously, the Suns were hot from 3, but I just have to start by saying I love the No Dunks crew. I watch No Dunks. I don't know if you've ever seen them. And a lot of podcasts are just like, Suns suck, and that's it. I say, fuck you guys. The reason I say that, it's not because obviously they won tonight, but it's bad analysis. The Suns are not as bad as people think. Like, they've been building themselves up to this point. I'm not saying they're going to beat every 5-0 team or they're going to be on top of the West now, but they're not a sucky team. They're a good team that plays hard and will get lucky like tonight hitting their threes. But I just hate being thrown in the same realm as the Kings and those other teams, and the Wizards. It's like the Suns are not that bad. They're not that good either, but they're decent. They're a good team.
They're a team that looks like, and through 6 games this season, or is this 7 now? What are we? 3 and 4. So
yeah, 3 and 4.
7 games. They're a team that looks competent. They're a team that looks like they're going to disrupt. They're a team that looks like it's going to have cohesion. It's a team, most importantly, of all those things, it's a team that's going to give a shit and try on defense. And when you talk about the Nets and the Wizards and the Hornets and the Kings, those are all teams that are just defensively deficient. And I think the fact that the Suns play defense is going to put them in a position to be successful time and time again. Now, can they execute on that, on being successful? Can they finish games? I mean, we've already seen it a couple times this season where the answer to that question is no. But at the same time, they're going to put themselves in a position to be in those games because of the defense. And I think that it was it's something that we'll continue to just thoroughly enjoy as I enjoy watching this team. And I really liked what I saw from them tonight, man. I really liked what I saw. Obviously, a victory always changes everything, but I mean, it was just the way that they attacked on the offensive and defensive end from the very beginning. It was a fantastic game.
Yeah, they're a team that wants to play hard every game. And tonight you really saw that, just because I feel like they had the games behind them with a little bit more experience playing together. But also, you don't have to worry about these guys getting too tired or too worried about playing too hard or getting injured. Like, you can see that these guys want to continue to play at the pace they're playing defensively on the switches, on the doubles. Like they're down for it. It turns them on. And I love that. I do like the fact that they do play this hard, and the fact that they're actually playing this hard on the offensive end too. Mm-hmm. It just goes to show really like the mentality of this team. It's coming across. It has been coming across the last few games. They lost a couple games by 1 point, but they still played hard in those games. It's just, I feel like they're finding their identity now, and that's what's really, really important right now with the Phoenix Suns.
It's interesting, too, because obviously without Jalen Green, without Dillon Brooks, there's going to be a shift in this identity as time progresses. But with Dillon Brooks, I feel like he'll fit right back in. We don't know what Jalen Green is as yet to this point. But there's like I've got to get a lot of props to Jordan Ott and the way that he's been coaching, because I think that this was a very cerebral attack. And that's going to be the first thing that I have for the bright side.
Tell me the bright side.
So the first thing that was a bright side moment of this game was, again, how they cerebrally attacked Victor Wembanyama. That guy is impossible to guard. And the Suns did what I feel like a lot of teams want to do, and that's swarm him and just make him uncomfortable. And Royce O'Neal was doing a fantastic job. The way that they were throwing doubles at him, the way that they were consistently putting pressure on him on both offense and defense, he was clearly out of his game. And I think that it was a very well-executed and well-thought-out scouting report that they had, and then well-executed game plan that they put out there against Wemby tonight.
Yeah, they kind of treated him like you walk into someone's house and there's an annoying like little dog or the dog that won't stop jumping on you, right? And then you kind of just ignore it. And I think they kind of just ignored that Victor Wembanyama is almost 8 feet tall, and they just went to go play their game. I think being physical, throwing him off balance right from the get-go was really the key to success. I'm not saying that he's going to have 4 points every game or 6 points every game if defenses do this. But if you knock him around, you go to him and not have him come to you defensively, I think that's really where they excelled, the Suns. I think they had the right opportunities there to kind of knock him off balance before he got to his spot, and they continue to do that. And Wemby was not getting the calls, and a lot of the defensive plays like the Suns made, like they were great. And maybe some nights Wemby will get those calls, but tonight he didn't get them, and they weren't fouls. They were just really playing physical with them.
Yeah, they're playing physical, and they were throwing doubles. And I feel like a lot of teams, as it pertains to Wemby, because of his height, they're afraid to throw doubles at him because they're like, oh, well, he'll just pass right over the double team, and there's going to be and he'll have the ability to take advantage of the opposing defense because of the fact that, you know, they're undermanned because of the way that they rotated. But the Suns, they were very smart in the way that they're running doubles. They're running doubles off the baseline from the weak side, and the way that they were swarming, Wemby wasn't finding those open shooters because he didn't know where they were coming from. And I think that that's important. If he's faced up and you're throwing a double and he can see exactly where you're coming from and the defender that you're vacating, then he can throw it to the defender you're vacating. And that did happen a couple times. But for the most part, it was him kind of backing down, looking off to his left, and then the double team's coming off from to the right, and all of a sudden he's trying to figure out what to do. So I feel like it was just, again, like I said, just a very well-executed game plan on shutting down one of, you know, the freak, the alien, you know, Victor Wembanyama in this game, 4 of 14 from the field. He had 9 total points. He had 9 rebounds, 6 turnovers because of that pressure. Obviously, he impacts the game with the 4 block shots. But the sheer fact that he had 2 points in the first half and it happened with like 2 minutes left in the first half, you could see him visibly frustrated out there. And that's what I think is the most important takeaway in this game for me about the Phoenix Suns is the Phoenix Suns are annoying, and they're annoying in all the right ways. They're going to fluster. They're going to disrupt. Yeah, they're probably going to get in trouble a little bit because they slap too many times and they get too many fouls. And it's something we've talked about through the preseason, through the first 7 games. It's one of those situations where you know that because of the style of play that they are trying to execute defensively, they're going to get stuck with their hands in the cookie jar, but they're also going to be annoying to other teams. And you can start to see from a mental standpoint the way that they get into the opposition's head, which brings me to my other bright side, and then I'll let you do a bright side. It kind of flowed right nicely for me.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is
Big Dick Booker.
So Devin Booker tonight, 10 of 15, unbelievably efficient from the field, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc, 28 points, 13 assists, did have the 5 turnovers, but he was getting in Stephon Castle's head, man. He was talking shit, and they were going back and forth, but like shit talking Booker is back. And when he started to do that and executing, it's just fun to watch, man.
This is like the 2021 Devin Booker out there talking shit. Right? We haven't seen this in forever. I remember when he was playing against D'Lo or when he was playing against Cat and telling like, "You aren't my friends," like throwing it down on fast breaks. Like that was him again tonight. He was back to that guy. He's kind of been creeping that way, but he had to kind of find his way, I think, on the offensive end. Like he's getting more lift on his shots. He's finding more space, even with a guy like oh gosh, who was guarding him? My bad. You were just talking about him.
Stephon Castle.
Yeah, Castle. Yeah, the guy who is second-year player. Everyone knows he's a great defensive player this year. In the first 5 games, he let him have it. Like Booker went at him and kept pointing at his head, at his dome, saying, "Got to be smart." Like he had 3 fouls, I think, within 2 minutes of the game, and it was all because of Booker. So that's a different type of game that we haven't really seen from Booker, getting guys in foul trouble and outsmarting them in that way. You just see kind of the growth there. I love the game from Booker because it was 28 points, right? And he was scoring 31, 32 or so when we were losing games in the very beginning, the first 3 games. But it wasn't like the right kind of play, right? He was getting his points, but obviously they weren't leading to wins. And a lot of people were saying, like, he's still getting points. He's still doing great. But it's like, it's not looking right. Like tonight is obviously his best game all around, getting the 6 assists in the first quarter. But all around, man, he just played a magnificent game, even defensively. Like I felt like he led that defense at times in doubles and switching and making sure that he manned up Victor Wembanyama at times. And there were times where he had him underneath the basket and they wouldn't throw Victor the ball. I don't know why. It's a mismatch, but I don't know. Maybe they're scared of Booker. Who knows? Maybe he's that annoying little chihuahua around his ankles. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, first I'll say, Dan Bickley, Arizona Sports, did his Bickley blast after the Memphis Grizzlies lost, and he's talking about how Devin Booker's body language looks bad, and he ran right off the court and didn't interview with the media. And I just think that he's frustrated because he missed 2 big shots that could have won the game for the Suns, because right now we'd be at 4-3 if that was the case. And I've said it on this podcast, and I've written about it on brightsideofthesun.com. It's not that his body language looks off to me. The first few games, it looked uncomfortable for him. He's trying to find spots. You and I've had this conversation, and I looked into it, and 56 different lineups he has been a part of to start this season. That doesn't breed consistency. That's constantly dealing with different teammates, finding their spots, finding how you can play off of them to get to your spots. And now you're starting to see some of that cohesion. And that's what we were talking about in the first few games where the Suns might have lost, but you could see them building towards something. And what they were building towards was a night like tonight, where everything, especially for Devin Booker, looks right. And to your point, he's starting to get into their head and he's playing with them. And I think that was one of the most important possessions or trips down the floor, was when the Spurs in the fourth quarter were starting to come back. And all of a sudden, 3 consecutive plays, he drew a foul on Stephon Castle, and that just killed the Spurs momentum right there. And that's the cerebralness of Devin Booker and what he can do. So I thought he looked absolutely fantastic. And I will say, let's see. Greg says in the chat, John Voida with the shout out from K-Ray during the game with the Booker stat. That was the stat that I had looked up. So it's kind of cool hearing K-Ray be like, I got to give credit to John Voida here. But yeah, I mean, it was just.
When was that? Was that in the fourth quarter?
Second quarter.
Okay, I must have missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you missed that. It was adorable.
Well, I was watching the first part of the game on my phone because I had a headache, so I was like trying to watch just a box score, and I kept seeing like turnover, force, steal, 3-pointer made by the Suns. So that's all I really got from the first half until halfway through the second.
All right, so tell me about your bright side. What are you taking away from this game, Matthew?
All right, it has to be this guy again.
Yeah, bling bling, Rolls Royce, Rolls Royce, Rolls Royce, yeah, nigga, Rolls Royce.
I mean, I think the guy's giving me chills watching him play. I don't think the stats were as great tonight, but defensively, what he did on switches with Victor and getting really into him, using his body. Him and Mark Williams, I feel like Mark Williams and him were just like, I don't care that you're 7'6". Like, we're going to play our game. We're going to play physical. And they were just in the right way, too. Not to get too many fouls and not to cause too many like and one situations like what Royce was doing the first 4 or 5 games of the season, where he would just let a guy get a lane but foul him, too. Like, those are the boneheaded plays that he's not making anymore the last 2 games. I think that he's a huge part of the Suns' success, obviously, but playing the 4, I was never a fan of. And I think that him and obviously Ryan Dunn, they're starting at the 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think him at the 4 or the 3, if we ever have a power forward come in here like Rasheed Fleming, if he shows up somehow, maybe he starts later on in the season, that's fine. But Royce as a starter right now, he's on both ends. Like, he's a true leader. Like, I think before the season, he said something about him being very, very underrated and how no one talks about him. Like, well, all you do is shoot threes. He's doing way more than that. And I noticed him, and he was, I think, my GM star last game I was here. And tonight he was just impressive on different ends of the floor with the defensive, strategic way of handling Wembanyama tonight.
Yeah, 4 of 6 from the field, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. He ended with just 11 points. He had 6 rebounds. He had 4 assists, 2 steals. But to your point, the way that he was being so versatile defensively, and the challenge with Royce that has always been the same. He's not a great perimeter defender, but if you put the ball on the floor in front of him, he is pesky. He's handsy. He can force turnovers in that way. And so the way that the Suns are using him, especially tonight, where it's like, hey, you're going to guard Wemby, who is going to be on the perimeter. But the big change in Wemby this season is he's trying to get down into the paint much more. He's been more of a perimeter player his first couple seasons. Now he's getting down there in the paint. And when you do that, Royce O'Neal knows how to take advantage of that. Royce O'Neal is going to throw some elbows in the ribs. Royce O'Neal is going to try to move you off your spot and push you in the hips. And he was successful completely. And I love that you choose Royce for one of the bright side topics, because he was one of those guys who just was constantly pesky and annoying and embodying everything that this Suns team wants to be. And so many people look to trade him left and right. And I think that when you have a team that isn't a great shooting team, and don't look at the stats tonight because they were a great shooting team tonight. This is the exception, not the rule. You need to have guys who not only have that ability to be a little bit physical on the defensive end, but can shoot. And Royce can shoot, man.
He definitely can. I think that we look for him for a lot of shooting, but the way that he is actually playing within the offense is kind of like, Booker, the way he is, like, he had his points tonight as the best offensive game I think he played all around, but he still blends right in with that offense. Like, he doesn't stick out, obviously, like a lot of superstars do. But when he wants to get a shot, he can get a shot. But Royce is doing the same thing. Like, he's not forcing a lot of shots. Like, he's not doing the little pump fake, step over, whatever 3 that he used to do all the time. Like, he's moving the ball around too. And I want to talk about Jordan Goodwin too, if you don't mind. I love this guy.
Oh, let's
Where's my dog?
Jordan Dog wins.
There's my dog.
I threw an FU earlier to No Dunks. I want to throw another FU to Gavin from – I'm just kidding. I saw the segment last time you guys were talking about Goodwin and him maybe not having a post-game interview ever again. I think this guy's going to stick around. I've always loved this guy, and I think the fact that he can come in off the bench and he is pesky and he's annoying, because you already think the Suns team's annoying. They are, for sure. Every guy on there, Gillespie looks annoying. You have Dylan Brooks and Green on the bench looking annoying, just the way they're dressed with the sunglasses. Like, it doesn't get much more annoying. And then you bring in Goodwin, and he's just kind of around your ankle stealing the ball. Like, he's an instant impact right now for the Phoenix Suns, and I think he's going to have really decent minutes throughout the season, because I think this guy's impact is very high.
Yeah, 20 minutes played for him. He was 3 of 5 from the field. All that came from beyond the arc. 3 total rebounds, a couple assists, a couple steals, 11 total points. And I think that all I had in my notes for Jordan Goodwin was he's in fuck shit up mode. And he comes in that fuck shit up mode. He instantly, this is the second consecutive game where we've seen him play. And both times he came in and instantly made an impact. I mean, he's coming blindside, pickpocketing Victor Wembanyama on plays. He's out there running, facilitating the offense to a certain extent, to the best of his ability, but, knocking down big threes. So I absolutely loved what I saw from him. So I'm a little coughing.
Oh.
I have like no voice today.
Well, why not, dude? Was it the Jaeger bombs last night, or what did you have after the Dodgers won the World Series?
A lot of whiskey.
Yeah, he was
I
very
also-
excited last night.
In fact, time for the burn book. Hold on, where's that drop?
The school board felt that it was best that we investigate every claim made in this burn book.
The Suns Jam Session. Burn Book.
All right, so my burn book goes out to my Uber driver last night from downtown Chandler to North Phoenix. This was one of the worst fucking experiences of my life. This guy, we had to wait 18 minutes for this guy to pick us up.
Mm-hmm.
And like he comes down the street and all he has to do is take a left and we're standing right there. And he drives by and takes another 5 minutes to loop back around. We get in the Uber with the guy. He's driving us home. He keeps veering into lanes. And he's like, yeah, I've been driving since 6 this morning. You know, you guys are my last one of the night. You know, it's like 1 a.m. We're like, holy shit. And he misses the exit to get onto the 10. And we got to loop back around. And he misses the exit to get on the 51. And we got to loop back around and like drive through downtown Phoenix, you know, and I have to tell him where to go. And he's got his navigation. And you know, he's just like white knuckled gripping the steering wheel to try to stay away because he's again veering into different lanes. And it's funny because he'll start to veer into a lane and he'll just be like, he's kind of guided into it. And it's like he was making a lane change.
Like he was, He's on top of it.
And halfway through, he's like, you guys got any kids? I've got 3. And he's like trying to show us pictures on his phone of his kids. I'm like, dude, focus on the fucking road, dude.
This is why I don't go anywhere to drink unless I can get a Waymo there because I do not want to. The Uber drivers, the lifts, I'm done. Like, I'm sick of the talk and I'm sick of these guys, like, sometimes being racist and stuff. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah,
Stop
you're
talking
like,
to me.
Yeah, why you like?
Yeah,
it's
like Dumb and Dumber where he's driving the limo and looking back. Like that's how bad they are now. Like this is why AI is taking over. I don't care.
They're like, you have a license, cool. You can be an Uber driver. But the reason I bring that up is because I don't really have much for my burn book as it pertains to the Phoenix Suns tonight. Do you?
No, not a particular play, or anything like that. I think the end, and they gave up what was a 9-10-0 run or something like that. It looked like the Spurs were have a chance to come back, but that's just the NBA. I did want to throw this out there. You know, are we looking at trades for Jalen Green? Like, I wanted to just get you. How excited are you for him and Brooks to come back? Because right now, and I feel like this last game too, and the game before that, I just like watching these guys. I know the team might be better with Brooks and Green, but I'm just like, I hope they don't fuck it up. Like, I don't want them to come in and have to adjust and do all that shit and just throw them out of sync. I think they're going to be fine, obviously, within the offense and defense, but what are your thoughts on them coming back? Because I was looking at a Zion trade for Green. I'm like, maybe that's a straight up trade.
We do need a power forward.
Yeah.
There's going to be an adjustment period, and I think that there's a lot of good vibes that we're feeling right now. The fact that you know that 2 of our starters are out, and we're playing this well without them. Obviously, the talent alone, bringing them back, is going to be something that's beneficial. It's going to help Devin Booker. It's going to take pressure off of him, I feel. I'm not at the point of exploring Green trades yet. I want to see what he is, man. I want to see what he is. You know, I don't know how he fits yet. I don't know if he knows how he fits yet. And I also think that, as we've mentioned in the past, we need to slow play him back. You know, again, hamstring injury, the team's playing well. He shouldn't come back in and just automatically start and you put 20, or 30 minutes on him, 30 to 35. I think you literally just go ahead and say, you know what? We're going to have you come in 20 minutes. We'll go from there.
Yeah, it's tough. But the thing is, it's awesome to know like this team is that good to watch. Even though we were losing, we even said on the podcast, we're like, I love watching this team. So it's not one of those things where it's like you get a big win and all that, and you're like, oh, this team's great now without those guys. I just slowly love the guys that are on the floor over Green and Brooks now, because I'm like, these guys are gelling. So I don't want that to be fucked up. And I think I just throw in my thoughts in the burn book, just thinking about Green trades and I pulled up the trade machine and I was looking at Green trades and Zion and him worked. And I'm like, all right, well, the Pelicans are 0-6 after losing tonight to the Thunder.
Are they really? I knew, and they don't even have their own first round pick, but they wouldn't trade with us because we don't have a first round pick to offer.
Well, would you? It's kind of straight up. It seems like it's a kind of good deal, right? Green still has potential. They're the same type of player, like just potential wise. Obviously, the one's a power forward, one's a guard, but I don't know.
I don't think that they would do it. I think that
Pelicans win it or the Suns win it.
I think both.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly, that's kind of where I fall. Now, I will say, somebody mentioned in the chat a little bit earlier. They said, again, there's not a lot to really burn, but 20, Ted Nibble says 20 turnovers is still too many. I will say that's a deceptive stat because 10 of those happened in the fourth quarter. And a lot of those happened once we pulled all of our starters. And, everybody's been pining to see Kaman Malawach and Rasheer Fleming and those guys. They were just kicking the ball all over the fucking court. And they made it a 12-point victory instead of like a 22-point victory. So, again, that's kind of one of the reasons. Even in one of my group chats, one of my a bunch of my son's buddies, like, man, we're up by 21 and we still haven't seen Malawach. I'm like, settle down. How about we just enjoy the fucking ride?
That is true. I mean, if we would have drafted Coward and then we would have traded Green for Zion, man, that would have been a sick roster right there. I love doing that. I'm not saying that's what I want, like, definitely, but it's fun to think about.
It's the disease of what if, right? Like, what if these guys got more play? And that's going to be the consistent thing. And again, I'll just remind my fellow Suns fans who are sitting there and being like, yeah, we won by 12, but why didn't we see more Malawach? Like, Wemby's out there. It's like, you want to see Malawach get destroyed and have his confidence hurt? Put him out there against Wemby and see what happens. Wemby's a freak. The reason the Suns were successful playing against Wemby tonight is because they didn't try to match his size. They tried to match his athleticism, and they tried to push him off his spot with smaller guys. It's the Draymond Green effect, right? Like, what makes Draymond Green a great defender is not his size. It's his ability to get up in you and annoy you and push you off your spots and throw those little jabs and whatnot. That's what works, not throwing just another large, lumbering human being against him, because it doesn't always work because he's so athletic, and he's going to take advantage of that. So I think it was smart for the Suns to execute the way they did. And again, those who are pining for Malawach, give it time. It will happen. It will happen, my friends. I guarantee you. It will happen.
Yeah, it will happen. And I wanted to get to this later, but I'm just going to bring it up now. Mark N866666 says getting Mark Williams built up for the starting role has helped a ton. So, I think that's one thing Ott's been doing great this year with is just building these guys up and then putting them in the right time. And will come along eventually.
Come on.
In the same way.
Come on, Malawach, come along. So, no, I will say, here's the only other thing I had for my burn book, because I didn't talk about this on the podcast last time with Gavin and Nate. But what are your thoughts on the Suns jerseys that we saw tonight? I mean, could you put those in the burn book?
Yeah, and a lot of people like the shorts, but I can't tell that they even have the sun on the side.
I know, right?
Butt cheek, unless they're close up. You know what I mean? So it looks cool, but I don't like them at all. I don't. I dislike them a lot. They remind me of just, I think I told you last night. I don't remember. I browned out maybe, but that the jerseys look like you find them in like Kmart, or a thrift store, just like a Phoenix knockoff jersey. Like that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I agree on the shorts. I forget that the shorts have the sun on them until you see them up close. And I don't think they're ugly because I don't think black jerseys are ugly. It's hard to make a black jersey ugly. And with the Suns and their colors, it pops. But it's just very basic. And to your point, it's like if I'm at a Fry's Superstore where they have the clothing department where you can buy like shoes, you walk by and you see like a Phoenix shirt and you pull it out, you're like, oh, that's what they look like. Like you can buy them. So that's about it, right? That's about it on the burn book. I don't have much else,
Yeah, it's nice. It's the first time.
I know. I was thinking about it. I was like, man, are we gonna have stuff to talk about on the pod other than like good stuff about the Suns?
No, it was a perfect game played.
Let's hit you with a little stat me.
Ooh, dang, stat me.
I already used my stat, and then they said it on the broadcast. 56 different lineup combinations, and I'm sure that probably changed today. So there you go. Let's do some subreddit.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
A reminder: the subreddit stakeout is brought to you by Nettles Air Conditioning, nettlesair.com. If you need an absolute unit, go to nettlesair.com. It looks like I'm joined by the Invisible Man. Was the Invisible Man on subreddit tonight?
Yeah, I was there. Did you not see me?
No, you were invisible.
Okay. Yeah, I was there just for a few comments, but I just want to see if you got any of these. I think they just had to do with the refs, right? They're bitching at the refs the whole night.
They did bitch at the refs a lot on the subreddit for the Spurs tonight.
Home cooking by the refs. How is it home cooking when the Suns have more fouls than the Spurs? Is it because Wemby didn't get any calls and the game was actually hard for him tonight? It wasn't easy. That's what it's a tough game now for him if it's not going his way with the refs. So it's fun to see him kind of deal with that. But yeah, just a lot of that where they didn't have too much more.
I had a Spurs buddy at the game, and he's just like, Booker's getting all these calls. I'm like, dude, that was the first call. We had 5 fouls before you had 1. Like, what? Settle
It's
down.
because Wemby wasn't getting calls, and that's all that matters to these dudes.
Well, here's some other things that I saw on the San Antonio Spurs subreddit. Some comments that I like to share with the Jamster faithful. Here, one comment said, I liked our announcers giving shade to Phoenix Arena being loud because of the constant blaring music and annoying loud announcers. I don't know why they get away with it, is what they said on the broadcast. Did Grayson Allen fucking dunk? Geez, this is a great comment. Geez, who would have known? Katie and Bill were the dead weight. Hell of a move by Booker. That was sick. That was during the first half. He had like a turnaround jumper, and they were actually like giving him props. I was like, whoa, is this San Antonio subreddit?
Right into a timeout, right?
Yeah, right to a timeout.
Yep.
Seriously, each game this season, teams decide to light it up from 3 against us, even if they're not good at all, somebody stated. And somebody replied to that, and they said, it's called poor perimeter defense. And it sounds like that's an issue with San Antonio. What else do we have here? What the fuck was that? Booker for Oscar. I hate Devin Booker with a passion. Bro is a batch of cookies. Can't say I've ever heard that one before. A batch of cookies. Wemby looking like Chet tonight. Man, I'm sick. I know we can't win them all, but come on, not against the fucking Suns. Another comment stated, someone go to the arena now and say something mean to Wemby in French to get him fired up. Did Wemby's dog die?
Aww.
And then the comment of them all, at least in my opinion, I blame daylight savings time.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
Oh, Matthew's back.
Yeah, I'm back. And I totally forgot it was today, but thank God it saved my ass in fantasy because I woke up, I think, at 10:30. I was like, shit. And I'm like, oh, it starts at 11. Nice. Okay.
I hate waiting for football till 11.
Yeah, it is a bummer. Unless you are just really hungover, you just want to sleep in. It's nice.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing worse than having to drive all the way back down to Chandler to go get your car.
Oh, that is bad.
It was not fun.
The safe way to go, right? We be getting out of lanes.
I don't know though, man. Like I almost feel like I'm a better intoxicated driver than that guy was sober.
Yeah.
He was so bad, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're gonna get pulled over because they think he's drunk.
Yeah, no. Sometimes you can't trust those people. That's why you got to go Waymo. But once they're on the freeways, then that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
Never
So far away. Saul asks in the chat, do Spurs fans hate us as much as we hate them? I have a really good friend who's a Spurs fan. And if you've ever seen Mad Men, there's that kind of, it's a meme now of Don Draper getting in the elevator with a guy. And the guy was talking about how much he hated Don Draper. He says something along the lines like, it's like, I feel sorry for you. And then Don Draper looks at him and goes, I don't think of you at all. That's how Spurs fans look at Suns fans.
Yeah.
They don't care about us. We haven't done anything to hurt their feelings. They've walked all over us their entire existence. So en route to championships. So they don't care.
No, they don't care. They used to try to align with us in the standings in the playoff bracket to play us because they knew they would get us clean sweep or win in 5 games. So
yeah, they could beat us up pretty good. So all right, well let's my voice sounds just horrible, and for that I apologize, ladies and jamsters. But let's hand out some hardware.
Jam star of the game.
Did forget to ask you, Matthew, if you had anything else written in your notes before we get to the Jam Star.
No, I got my FUs out of the way.
Good.
I think that was all I had, dude. Yeah, we're good to go.
I think the only other thing that I had was the fact that the team pushes the pace now. And again, you can look at our little graphic and it shows you. You know, we last year we were 21st in the NBA in pace, and like this year we're 12th.
Yeah,
and you definitely feel it. Yeah, and you see it, and I think it really affects how this team performs. It's something that Jornot wanted to do. So,
and he's actually fallen through with it. And just really quick too, Grayson Allen handling the ball a ton, and I don't know if it's more of a second half thing or it's just. It's going to be so weird when Green comes into this lineup because Grayson Allen's been doing, I think, a hell of a job handling the ball up the court. So I don't know what they do with that.
I feel like Grayson Allen is going to be out next game.
Oh, after he fell on his back?
When he fell on his back, it was like his hip. It was like his hip, his butt.
He got pulled out, right? Like something happened with his leg?
Well, he kicked his leg out.
Yeah.
So they called an offensive foul on him. But he went down pretty hard. And then watching him run back up and down the court the rest of the game, I was like, oh, this is going to be one of those things where he's going to be out for a couple games, which is unfortunate. But if it aligns with Jalen Green coming back, who knows?
Yep.
You might see something. David Ray in the chat says Booker's jam star of the game, no question about it. Ted Nibble gives it to Booker as well. Michael Kolb gives it to Brooks and Dunn. Let's talk about Ryan Dunn. Ryan Dunn had a hell of a game. What did you think of him tonight?
Oh, it was the best game that he can have. I mean, he really filled a lot of the spaces on the glass, the offensive ends, where he continues to be, just an all-out motor, not mortar, like, making cement, but motor. Yeah, he's like kind of like every game, I feel like he's getting better and better in that way to where he's finding his way around the ball more. And my favorite part of it is really just kind of for the putback dunks. Like he's looking for that almost every time on the offensive end. And that's fun. I do kind of worry about him landing in those situations because he is throwing himself up and coming down with a lot of feet in the area. So he has to be careful with that. But other than that, he's been great. He's obviously not washed. He came back around. He had 2 or 3 games now in a row.
Yeah.
He's looked really good. So this is the best game by far.
Yeah, I mean, he ends tonight with a total. Oops, I was just on the fourth quarter stats there. 6 of 8 from the field, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. Man, I love to see that. 17 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. So, yeah, this is a step in the right direction. And that's what I'm looking for with Ryan Dunn. It's just we want to see progression in year 2. And I feel like the front end of this season, it wasn't going that way, but the last couple games starting to look good. Suns Fever says, I have to give the jam star to the entire team, including Ott. This was a complete team game.
It was.
Juan Carlos Arenado says, jam star of the game goes for all the guys. Total collective effort.
Wow.
Aussie Suns fan says, Book, shout out to Royce. John Tran says, team defense is the jam star. So Jordan Ott. Dunn deserves some love. Ott should win it tonight. I mean, there's a lot of love for everyone on the team because this truly was a team victory.
He's Jordan Ott, the best coach Sparty money has bought. Yes, he's Jordan Ott.
Bam, there you go. Let's see. Casillas gives it to Dunn. Saul says, let's see with some positive notes for Dunn. Nice. So, yeah, I mean, who do you give it to, Matthew?
I'll give it to Booker. I think
I do too.
Yeah, this 13 assists to 28 points is incredible. I think the 5 turnovers, they happened later in the game. The first quarter, I don't think he had 1 turnover. I think he had 0 turnovers. But he had an incredible start to the game. That turnaround and the way he was hitting those turnarounds in Castle's face, like even though Castle knew it was coming and drawing the fouls, like that was incredible stuff. That's things that like star players do. And really quick too, like when the Spurs are kind of get back in the game, he was looking to draw the fouls, get back to the free throw line because the Suns could not hit a shot or find a wide open shot. So that was also really brilliant on his end. So thank you. Booker.
Yeah. Some fuck you, Booker. That's really, what we've kind of been waiting for, and we saw it tonight. And as you mentioned, that's what stars do. They play like he played tonight, and for that, I'm appreciative. It's nice to see that from Booker again, man, because over the past couple seasons, it's just with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal on the team, he hadn't really necessarily had that kind of look on his face. All right, next up for the Phoenix Suns, Tuesday night, Golden State on the road, 8 p.m. game, Matthew, our first 8 p.m. game of the season, now that daylight savings has occurred. Taking a look overall, when you look at the Golden State Warriors, they're a team that is 4-3 right now. Offensive rating of 114.8, defensive rating of 112.7, so a net rating of 2.1. That puts them kind of right in the middle of the league. That's 11th in the league overall. What are you looking for playing Golden State for the first time this season?
It can go either way. So I think that Golden State obviously can get hot with Steph Curry. We all know that. But I've watched a few of these games with the Warriors, and they can get hot at times, but they like to slow the pace down. And I just think the fact that they're not as big anymore. Obviously, they have size at times with Looney, but I don't know if he's even starting anymore. But I love the fact that the Suns, I feel like, have a positive outlook at this game because of the center position. And the fact that, the Warriors look really good, but they have a lot of soft spots in big games. And I think they have the capability to really give up leads here and there. So it looks daunting at times. And I know we just beat the Spurs, they're a young team, 5-0. It looks daunting to see the Warriors, but it's a winnable game. I don't think anybody thought this tonight was a winnable game, but this is definitely a winnable one in my books.
Yeah, I didn't have tonight as a winnable game in any capacity, but I will say that against the Warriors, if the Suns can kind of continue, if they can continue kind of what they're doing relative to disruption, that's what's going to breed success against Golden State. Now, to your point, Golden State can go nuclear kind of anytime that they really want to, right? I mean, it's just a matter of how the Suns can defend the perimeter against them, because they weren't really doing a good job of guarding the perimeter tonight. The Suns weren't, but that's because they were so focused on the interior, but Golden State, 38% from beyond the arc this season. They're 11th in the league there. So it's a winnable game if you can impose your will the way that the Suns have been imposed their wills tonight against the San Antonio Spurs, the way that they imposed their will against the Jazz on Friday, and even against Memphis. Motherfucker. It was brutal. So much shouting during the Dodgers' ninth inning. But we imposed our will against the Memphis Grizzlies as well. It just didn't work out. So you continue with the imposition of will. I think good things will happen for this team.
Yeah, and plus the Warriors, they are older, and that's always been the knock on them. So I think just kind of running circles around them would be nice, because that's what the Suns did tonight against a younger team in the Spurs. So just to think that you can take guys like Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green out of the game and just kind of leave it in Steph Curry's hand, that's kind of what you want moving forward. And I was going to ask you too, really quick, with Klay Thompson over at the Mavericks. Do you think he's going to be on the bench soon? Because I don't know what they're doing over there, but he's still starting. I don't know if you knew that. So I just want to I think he's averaging like 4 points a game or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Dallas is a very interesting question, because they got Cooper Flagg running point, which isn't where he should necessarily be.
Yeah.
You got Klay Thompson, who's just really in that I'm washed category. And they don't have a ton of youth on that team. I mean, they drafted Cooper Flagg, but that was it. This is a team that doesn't have a lot of draft capital. After making trades to get Luke out of town, they didn't get any draft capital back for that. Anthony Davis is already hurt. Dallas is in some trouble, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just want to get you quick. I think we play them in 4 games or so, but I think it's nice that they're one of the teams that the Suns can leap this year. Obviously, the Mavericks are 2-4 now, with the Suns being 3-4. The Suns are 11th seed.
Yeah.
So, and the Grizzlies might fall off. I think Ja might be on the move. So, things are wants to make that play in. I'm just saying, with a lot of these teams kind of taking a dive.
Oh man. Well, we shall see. It'll be a fun game on Tuesday. I think we play the Clippers after that. So it's a very heavy Pacific Division slate for the next 3 games. Because I think is it a back-to-back against the Clippers? Sounds right.
Yep. I think it's it's here, it's there and here, or here and there.
But 2 games back-to-back against them. So should be interesting, Jamsters. Again, you can join us after the game right here on the Suns Jam Session podcast. Truly appreciate you guys hanging out. Matthew, tell them what to do.
Go and love your family.
Go Dot.
Hey, you're listening to the Suns Jam Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.